Hi guys, is it safe to come out yet? Is social media an accepting place, a nice loving again yet or not? Probably not. Okay. A friend of mine said to me, are you doing a video or are you only doing videos when Tottenham win? Well, no, I'm not like that. You know, I've got to be honest and I will call it out as much as it pains me to say it, and it does pain me to say it. But they were the better team. They did manage to do to us what we did to Chelsea, in my opinion. So that's a real disappointment, and I'm gutted, and I hate to give them credit, but what can you do? So the North London derby at the empty shites is over, and we need to move on. Couple of things to come out of it, I guess. The biggest shout out has been about Poch playing Juan Foyth in the match, in our biggest match of the season, and not playing Toby Alderweireld. And I've got to be honest, I was a little bit surprised. I thought that he'd probably drop out Jan and bring Toby back with Foyth. I don't think that Foyth shouldn't be in a team. I'm not one of those. I think he's a good kid who plays good football, very calm, very assured, and generally speaking, he does the right things. But yeah, even in this game, yeah, he made a mistake. Got caught in possession. But for me, you know, those things happen, and it's how you move on from that. Jan Vertonghen gives away a penalty for a handball, and that's one of them that you kind of go, well, if it's for you, you want to accept it. If it's against you, you're saying it's a bit harsh. You know, you're jumping in the air, of course your hands are going to go up. Someone heads it against you, you can't get your hand out of the way, so, you know, it's harsh. But at the same time, if it had been the other way around, guaranteed I'd have been shouting for it. So, you know, I can't complain too much. Sonny's penalty was a bit of a gift, I thought. Having seen it in slow motion and all that, I felt that he kind of tripped over his own feet. Well, maybe that's just me, but, you know, I think with VAR coming next season, I think that might have been one that went the other way in the end, to be fair. But yeah, I am surprised going on from the game that Aaron Ramsey is a player still without a... Shut up, Max. He's still a player without a contract, or running his contract down, because I felt he made a real difference to their play. He seemed to be the focal point, grabbed himself a couple of assists. So the geezer done good, and I think there'll be plenty of clubs out there looking to take him on. So you know, if he's the sort of player they're leaving out and they don't want, that is a little bit of a worry. But when I looked at their team, I look at all the players they've got there. I still wouldn't, even now, I still wouldn't swap their players for our players. I think we've got a decent team. Following on from the game, you know, there's no point going on about this result. It is what it is. You know, we lost, we move on. But what was interesting was to see how much it meant to the Arsenal players and the Arsenal fans after the game. It kind of shows you how far we've come a little bit, because the way they were behaving in the changing room was a bit cringy, if I'm honest. You know, North London is red, and come on you gooners, all that kind of stuff, and jumping about like a bunch of nutters. I think, really, you're kind of perhaps showing yourself up there a little bit. I think, you know, I don't think I've ever seen Tottenham players do that when we've beat them. So that really surprised me. I'm a bit shocked by that, especially there's a really bad video of one of their players, the one with the silly hair, looks a bit like David Luiz. I can't say his name, But he's going out in his car and he's cuddling supporters and God knows what else, bibbing his hooter and that. Jesus Christ. Anyone, I think you get a trophy for beating Tottenham these days. So that's quite interesting, because normally it's all, you're always in our shadow, you never get anywhere. And this issue of they're now ahead of us on goal difference, like that's some kind of big deal. And yet they call us out when we've said, oh yeah, we finished above you a couple of seasons. So, you know, it is quite funny really to see them carry on like that. The big deal for them is the fact that they've now got to play Man United and so on, and yet we've got Southampton. And I'm putting the kiss of death on that, aren't I? You know, they're now without a manager and no wins and God knows what else. And what's going to happen? They're coming to Wembley. But hey, you know, you've got to keep the faith. But for me, I think, you know, we move on from this game. And at the end of the year, when it's all said and done, I still believe that we will be above them. And I'm not celebrating the fact that we will be above them. I'm celebrating the fact that if we are above them, that will mean that we'll be in or around the top four. Because make no mistake, they're playing decent football at the moment and they're getting good results. They've got 19 wins. Okay, not all of these teams that they've played have been any good, but you can only beat who they put in front of you, right? So, you know, and they beat us. So it's up to us now to respond to that and try to improve things. I don't think I can do this video without mentioning the banana skin incident. Really, really disappointed with that. I guess there is two sides to every story, and I'm sure the guy who did it would like us all to believe it was something other than what we perhaps believe it is. I've spoken to a few people who were in or around it, and from their point of view, what they're calling out is that the geezer was throwing a banana skin at their player, and for me, there's just no excuse for it. You know, I personally don't think anyone should be throwing anything. You know, it's not a great thing to be doing. You know, it's not good. But when you start throwing things like banana skins around, then you know what the connotations to that are. And if you do that, then you deserve everything you get. And mate, I've got no sympathy for you. So if you see this video, I've got no sympathy for you, mate. You're a real letdown, and I'm disappointed. We don't do that at Tottenham. We're normally the people at the back end of it, receiving that kind of shit. We don't do that. We had the National Front come over to White Hart Lane in the 70s and the 80s, and we ran them out. We weren't having it. At the time when Chelsea and West Ham and that were embracing that kind of crap, we said, no, we're not having it. We're Tottenham, we're together. We don't do that. And I'm proud of that fact. I'm proud of the fact that we've got supporters from all over and from different backgrounds, and that we all stick together. So, you know, for me, mate, you're bang out of order, and I'm sure the club will deal with you in the way it sees fit. And just in case there's anybody there who's listening to this who is of that kind of nature, who is racist, who does think it's okay to do that kind of stuff, don't do it around me, because you know, I'll be calling you out. End of. And I'd rather you didn't bother with me. Don't watch my videos. Don't befriend me. Don't talk to me. I'm not into that. I don't want it. So, you know, listen, I'm not going to harp on about it, because, you know, I've made my feelings clear. But I don't think I can talk about that game without mentioning that fact of what's been said. It's been good to see so many Tottenham fans coming out and saying it's unacceptable. So, just shows you the nature of our club. So, okay, that's it really. I've got nothing really more to say apart from Claude, AFC TV. Just remember, mate, during the war, your ground was confiscated for the war effort. Who took you in? So less of the who's homeless. We'll have our ground, and we'll be there for a long time, and hopefully have many, many years of success. So I'm going to leave it there and leave you with this one last saying. Up the Spurs.